Carlos Contreras before ESPN Deportes with Justin Gaethje, who will be headlining UFC 21 this Saturday against Dustin Poirier for the BMF belt. Justin, how are you feeling? This is the kind of fight that everybody wants to see. Like we always hear that for the main event, but this is this is the one that everyone wants to see with without a belt. This rematch was something that people was looking for.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to fight somebody that beat me in the past. I've never got a chance, a rematch, chance at redemption. So this is a good chance for me to, kind of put myself into a title shot, and it's against one of the guys that's certainly going to be a Hall of Famer, Dustin Poirier. Knocked out Conor McGregor his last two fights. So, it's a huge name, huge fight, and I'm excited to put on the show.
It's been 5 years, and a lot of stuff happened in the first fight. The eye poke, the ending of the fight, everything. And I know it's an obvious question, like what has changed. But I know you have Trevor in your corner, who's a great coach, and he's
Yeah.
always studying. And how much has he studied the evolution of Poirier and your own evolution, your own changes? Like, because last fight against VC, you look again, you look like a really composed and you had like a lot of patience, but still like without getting away from your own style, like your aggressive style.
Yeah, that was my third fight in the UFC. I was still kind of wanting to prove myself. After I lost to Eddie Alvarez, I had another big chance to fight Dustin Poirier, and it was my first time fighting in Arizona in front of my home crowd in the UFC. And I just, I was young and dumb, and I just would wanted to go in there and have a fist fight. And at this level, it's a different game. You have to be smart, patient, technical. And I think I've grown in that way the last 5 years and through these fights, and I've really understood, especially with the last fight, the Chandler fight. I got caught up in the emotions in the Oliveira fight, and so that's the battle that we're always facing. Is staying within ourselves and being confident in our preparation and our skills, and not getting caught up in the lights. And so that's one thing I'm still gonna have to focus on and work on this weekend. And I think if I can control all that, fight patient, fight smart, then I'll have a great chance to beat this guy.
Well, still looking at your resume, it always comes with a performance of the night or fight of the night after every fight, and I think what people is expecting on Saturday. But how important is to get the BMF? I mean, I know it might be a symbolic belt, but how much
Yeah,
has it grown on you? Like the idea of having this belt that did a lot for Jorge Masvidal's career, for example.
yeah, I did, and it's a big fight. I think the belts. It's a pretty belt. It's gonna look good, at my house and on my wall, and we fight for belts. But ultimately, it's not a real championship. But what it does is the winner of this fight will fight the winner of the championship fight in October, and I think that's the most important thing. So winning is important on this fight. That's all that matters.
What do you think of the fact that Charles is fighting against Islam in October and the time frame for you guys for you and Dustin to I don't know, maybe fighting beginning of next year or something like that?
Yeah, whoever wins that fight, will be the champion, and we kind of got to wait for the champion. But the winner of this fight will definitely, it'll be good because we'll have a little bit of time off. If Oliveira didn't take that fight, I'm sure they would have expected us to try one of us, the winner of this fight, to try and turn around and fight in October. And I think that would have been too tough on our bodies. I think you really need to take the time to recover after these fights, especially after a fight like me and Dustin. There's no doubt that we're gonna punch each other a few times and cause some damage. So I think the timeline's perfect. They fight in October. We get to rest our body and get a good training camp, and then fight whenever they're ready, which will be, I guess, early next year.
Yeah, it looks like a good frame. We were in Arizona. You went out with El Rey, like trying to show some of your
Yeah.
Latino heritage, like remembering your grandfather. Your grandfather. What are you coming out this time? What are you coming out this time in Salt Lake City?
I'm back to reggae like always. Pretty much every fight other than that fight, I walked out to a reggae song. It just really helps me stay calm. El Rey pumped me up. I was over there seeing it while I was walking out. And I think that as much as I loved it, I gotta do what's right and find something relaxing, because again, I get too pumped up. Hey, there's no doubt that I get too pumped up when I'm walking out there. So I think it's really important that I try to do is stay as calm as possible, and I think that music helps that.
You have any? I know you're expecting a win on Saturday. Do you have any preference, like another shot with Charles, or facing someone new in Islam?
Um, no, I don't think I have. I don't think either one of those. I want to fight both of them. You know, I can't fight Habib; he's gone. But I can fight Makhachev. So I can kind of get that fight back. And I definitely want to fight Oliveira again because I know I could beat him. So I guess if I had to pick, I would pick Oliveira. But I think it's going to be very tough for him to beat Makhachev.
You always said that you're Mexican on the inside, and I don't know how you've been living this moment there. The Mexico had on the UFC with the three Mexican champions at the beginning of the
Yeah.
year. Now it's only Alexa Grasso. So what do you think about when that happened? Because I know you train with some Mexican guys like Rafa Garcia especially, but
Yep.
how you were living through that moment and realizing that Mexican MMA was finally arrived.
Yeah, yeah, especially getting those opportunities. Grasso beating Shevchenko was huge. That was a big fight. I'm a huge fan of Moreno. He's one of my favorite fighters. Um, so yeah, I loved it. Of course I loved it. It's just crazy. This is a crazy game. You got three Mexican champions. We used to have a bunch of Brazilian champions. We had three guys from Africa that were champions at the same time. Again, it's just so worldwide, and for Mexico to put itself on the map with those three champions was big, big for the country and big for the sport.
Well, Justin, I know Dustin also rings it, so I hope we see some of your Mexican style on Saturday.
I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need all the heart I got, and that's where it comes from. So you'll definitely see it.